Hello guys, welcome back. Welcome back, y'all, to Movies in the Matrix. This episode is a doozy. Not a doozy, but it's interesting. Sorry I've been away for a little bit. Working on my business. Tag yourself in incense, body oils, incense holders, stuff like that. Definitely linked in my main channel description. You can look at main channel description and you'll see. Welcome back, guys. Anybody that's new, welcome to Movies in the Matrix. We break down movies and TV shows in a more esoteric way. We break down the actors, the productions, the producers, sometimes even directors, sometimes the main characters, and we also break down TV shows, certain TV shows that may be predicting, things, of course, that may be predicting programming, predictive programming, things into our minds subliminally. So we always talk about that. And we always break down things on a deeper level. It's never a surface level here. Even the smallest little things in an episode can be brought and be seen as very interesting in retrospect when you really break it down and look at everything, right? So today we're actually going to look at a TV show. You guys are all familiar with it. You guys all know it. The Simpsons. I am working on getting a mic and I hope you guys don't mind the little noise in the background. I'm in my office, so nice and quiet. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking about The Simpsons and how The Simpsons always does prediction. They always do predictive programming. And I felt like it was only fitting. We did two movies already. Like I said, leave some comments down below if you guys have any suggestions on movies that I should do. I do have another movie that I'm going to do next, kind of related to this, but I'm not sure if I want to do it. But I also want to do another TV show. But I'm focusing on movies and TV shows that are not really spoken about. But I'm also talking about things in different aspect and different perspective. So like I said, today we were talking about Simpsons, but the specific episode is called Family and Friends. And it's so interesting because this episode is season 28, episode 2. And we're specifically talking about this episode because of the new release of the Apple Vision Pro. Now, the Apple Vision Pro was released, I'm not really sure, but I think it was released, I think maybe about a month ago, and it's really gotten very, very popular. And it is said that The Simpsons predicted the Apple Vision Pro back in 2016, I believe. So it's really, really interesting. And so we're going to break down the episode, not scene by scene as much, but we're going to break down some gems and some cool parts in the episode that I thought was funny, and some trippy scenarios and certain things that we're not realizing about Apple Vision Pro. And this episode kind of shows exactly what can happen with Apple Vision Pro if we're not careful. And I don't think nobody really focused on that. We were all just focused on it predicting the movement of Apple Vision Pro, and everybody's just going to be wearing them. But they also are showing you exactly what can happen if Apple Vision Pro is not handled correctly. And Mr. Burns shows us that exactly, because he was the first one to really test it out and try it to the point where he wanted to have a fake, So this is, they predicted it 8 years ago. They say that they predicted it 8 years ago. But before we jump in, let's run our intro and our warning, because it's gonna get. Let's go.
Viewer discretion is advised. Some viewers may find topics and graphics disturbing. View at your own risk.
They're on a loop. They go around the block. They come back. They go around again. They just go around and around.
From now on, your job is to be a distraction, so people forget what the real problems are. So what do we do?
You let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink. All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua. No artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Your Earth is a very small part of a very large industry.
Okay. So yeah, we're back. Like I said, they predicted this 8 years ago. This is what this episode is going to be about. How they predicted the Apple Vision Pro and how it was very interesting how it all happened and how it all played out and the little gems that happened throughout the episode, right? So the episode starts, but before we do that, I want to break down some things about the Apple Vision Pro that I don't think anybody's talked about that I really found interesting before we got into the full episode, because you know how we do. We got to break it down. Apple Vision Pro, what makes it so popular? Why? What is the Apple Vision Pro? What does it do? And yeah, let's find out. So, Apple released its long-awaited Vision Pro mixed reality headset this month. The company describes the device, so it came out, I think, in either January. I'm pretty sure January. The company describes the device, which has a stating price of $3,500, as a spatial computer, an alternative to a standard laptop desktop. Apple ads have shown people using the headset to send emails, conduct other mundane two-dimensional tasks. And June 2023. Okay, so this was released in 2023. Okay, so last year, Apple Vision Pro was designed for all-day use. Enthusiastic early developers have already recorded themselves using it for dozens of hours and even wearing it while sleeping. That sounds insane. Okay, so then it says experts are skeptical that this kind of headset can and replace the physical monitors, such as keyboard and mice. So it's kind of like placing you into the computer in a way. Really fucking creepy in a way, right? And even the New York Post made an article about the Simpsons and the prediction of this. So this is another reason why I'm bringing it up, because it's very fucking interesting, right? So I bring Bill Gates into this, and my point is because Mr. Burns reminds me of Bill Gates a lot. He's just so maniacal, so just evil. And I just feel like he does not care about the betterment of anybody. And I just feel like that's how Bill Gates is. I don't care what no one says. Bill Gates is just me. To me, he's Mr. Burns. Looks like him. I feel like that's who it was based off of. Oh no. Just giving Bill Gates. He tries to be a humanitarian. He owns this. He owns that. It's just very weird. And he ends up killing people all for the betterment of himself. But anyway. So what does Apple Pro Vision do? The Apple Pro Vision does, like I said, that they said it can transport you to Hawaii. It can put you on the surface of the moon. It displays high-resolution computer graphics a few millimeters from the user's eyes, all while allowing the user to control a desktop-like interface using the eyes to subtly look around, right? Interesting. So they're trying to simplify it, you have literally an iPad on your eyes. But I don't really think it's that simple. And we'll get into why I don't think it's that simple, but it makes sense as to why they're trying to simplify it as to just that, right? So what's Apple New Vision Pro headset might do to our brain? So now we get into what it could do to your brains if we're not careful, if we're not paying attention to what we're doing, right? So if we continue to use these things, what are the side effects? Then they say that they wanted this, that it's meant for all day use. But that sounds just crazy, right? So this is what it says. So it says past research involving prismatic spectacles glasses, which stick over overlays, cause distortion and displacement, suggest that people can adapt to significant visual disturbances. Rayton says that, but easing into altered vision initially requires an adjustment period that can last up to hours, even days, depending on the individual's users and disturbance strengths. Reverting to normal vision, such as taking off the headset, is usually quicker on the order of minutes. Yet, in each cause, the gap between mind and body can make basic motor skills, such as pushing elevator buttons, high-fiving, navigating a crowd, on foot much more challenging. They can lead to serious safety concerns when researchers rode a bicycle while wearing a headset. They didn't even realize. This is what I'm saying. So what they're saying is, with more use of you wearing this all day, you start to lose your normal motor skills that you are, because you're in this physical reality. So they're, like I said, they're trying to bring it down and break it down to you as simple as, oh, now you just have an iPad just connected to your face. No, because, and if you notice in this other slide, they call it the sending, because this is the 2D. Sending an email is, they considered a two-dimensional, the mundane two-dimensional, they call it themselves, they call it a mundane two-dimensional, like they said, nobody wants to do that in the mundane two-dimensional thing. I think I just said it, I just can't figure out where I put it, but anyway, they called it a mundane two-dimensional thingy or whatever. And this is, the 3D is what we see, so if that's 2D digitally, that means that this is, we're taking us into this is a man-made dimension, to be honest. That's what it feels like to me. The metaverse, when you put those things on any Oculus, where you feel like you're in the game, but your body is not physically there, but your mind is physically there, which is your most powerful tool. It literally it's a man-made dimension that you're being physically put into. Already, people are publicly operating moving vehicles, including cars, while wearing mixed reality headsets. Just 4 days after Apple released Vision Pro, the National Highway Traffic Administration, I have the video of that, imploring people not to drive while wearing the VR device in response to online clips of headsets wearing drivers. Yeah, this was crazy. So let me see if I have the video here. Fucking insane. Not, his hands not on the driving wheel, nothing. This is gonna be our future. And then this is Elon Musk's car, of course. But that's just fucking insane to me. That was insane to me. That's crazy. So the research team, this goes into a little bit more into like you wearing it every day. Like they suggest it's an everyday thing or a daily thing that you can do and put on, but like that just sounds insane. Like, why would you want to wear it every day? But they're encouraging you to do this. It sounds so sinister. The research team currently advises against, see, the research team does, but Apple is telling you that it's good for daily use, that you can wear it every day, that it's fine. Anyway, the research advises against spending hours per day with these goggles on. We recommend caution and restraint from these companies lobbying for daily use of these headsets. Exactly. They don't recommend it. The author wrote, urging more rigorous study of effects. Few long-term studies of VR and AR use exist. They are currently monitoring participants who regularly use mixed reality headsets, but the results of the study are months away from being published. So they're still studying and still testing these things out. So we don't know the full effects this is going to have on our brain and altering our reality and altering our capacity to be in this dimension and our body being another. Like, I just feel like it's going to wreak havoc on the brain some way. Since we don't know what this means to walk around with the world with reduced peripheral vision or visual distortion. Okay, so this is why I say your peripheral vision is very important. We're gonna explain why it's so important. A reduced peripheral vision. Now, if you have a reduced peripheral vision or visual distortion for hundreds of hours in a month, says Radindra Rantan, an associate professor of media and information at Mississippi, I think, State University. Look at that. So, and then it shows you how the peripheral vision of the human eye works. So you have what you have your straight on vision, and then you have what you're able to see at the corner of your eye without moving your head, right? So what you're able to see at the corner of your head is what you're able to see. So your peripheral vision, right? Or your indirect vision. So it's not your direct vision that you see straight on that's right in front of you. It's what you can see without moving your head, right? Away from the center of your gaze, which when leveled in large objects, right? So things that you see outside of the center of your main gaze. So then I found this article, and it talks about your peripheral vision and how it actually allows you to see, certain things because your peripheral vision is kind of like, to me, in my opinion, you seeing into the fifth dimension. So are they creating these goggles and these things to distort your vision, so that way you're just always in their dimension, this man-made dimension that they've created, and you can no longer attain the fifth dimension and see the fifth dimension? Because a lot of us see the fifth dimension out of our side view. We see what they call these dark shadow figures in your. They said, do you see dark shadow figures in your peripheral vision? Wondering the spiritual meaning of seeing shadows. So it's most common. Says spirits live in other dimensions, slightly layered on ours. So often when we interact with them, it is in passing. When we have spiritual awakenings, confronting our fears or accepting the shadows in life, it is often possible to see, sense, or interact with other beings that appear as a darker shadow. So this is really deep. This is really deep, and we're gonna go and we're gonna talk about that in a little later, and probably in another video as well. But I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was really deep. So when you're able to see these shadows and stuff like that, it could mean that you have a sign of your clairvoyance, or your clairvoyance abilities is opening up. It's an increased clairvoyance indicates that your ability to see with your mind's eyes expanding. So they call your peripheral your mind's eye, your spiritual mind too. Whether residual energy departing, a gardening spirit, or even an earthbound spirit, it is a new home. You may be able to clear it and appreciate it. We'll talk about that. Okay, so it's just about you being able to see it and understand what it is, especially if you're doing shadow work and you're just waking up to this stuff. Because I see them all the time, especially when I'm doing shadow work and stuff like that, and I see them out the corner of my eye, and I always don't doubt what I see because I know that I'm seeing into a different realm. I'm not seeing into this 3D realm. So I thought that was really, really fucking interesting. But anyway, let's start in to the damn fucking movie. I mean, show. I blabbered enough about how the VRs affect you and everything. And it's funny because right off the back, in the first opening scene that you see, a scientist is hit, right? He's hit he's wearing the VR, and they hit him because he's not paying attention. They hit him because he's not paying attention to what's in front of him at all, right? So they hit him and they're like, oh my God, I didn't mean to hit him, sir. So then he was like, what is that's making him ignore the world? I don't know if you can hear it. It's pretty low. But he was like, what is that's making him, like, making everybody ignore the world? Like, whatever it is, I want to know what it is. And, that's Smithers, and he always is there.
The Oculus Framecore for Oculus provides you with a complete virtual reality experience, letting you.
And they call it the Oculus, which the Oculus, I'm not even sure when the Oculus came out, but I don't know if it was that. Did it come out before the Apple? It probably did, because the Oculus has been out for a minute. So they predicted this a long time ago. They really did.
In a world of your dreams.
Letting you live out your dreams. Let you live out your dreams. Letting you live in your dreams. Letting you live in a world of your dreams.
So just to focus, turn the dial on the side. Now, for the after party.
I must have it. Oh, can you drop me off first?
I must have it. And so he's excited because, of course, Burns gets what Burns wants because he's fucking evil, maniacal, little old man. He's old and rich. Like I said, reminds me of Bill Gates. It's just annoying. But Burns said that he's well, before this, like I said, it starts off with him being on his way to his therapist appointment, which is funny. And then the thing therapist also worked with the Simpsons, which is funny. Funny, I feel like that's the connection. Um, and they are the therapist dies, and before the therapist dies, the therapist tells Mr. Burns to actually that you need to go and get a family. Like, what do you do? You need a family. And so he tells her he needs a family, and so he's like, okay, I guess I'll go get a family, whatever. And so he pays for, but before this, he pays for therapist's fucking funeral. And at the funeral, he puts his own self on the fucking tombstone. And of course, everybody hates him for that. So they end up throwing rocks at him, and then this is when he hits the scientist guy, and this is when he finds out everything else. You know, like I was like, wow, that's very fucking weird. And so they took it. It looked just like the Apple Vision Pro, crazy, and he loves it. And so Mr. Burns wants to know all about this. He wants to try and go to different worlds. So he goes to different worlds and stuff like that. And he's having a grand old time, y'all. He's having a grand old time. Until, he remembers what his therapist said to him. The therapist says to him, oh, before you die, you should get a family. No, before he dies, before the therapist dies, he told him that he should get a family. Because he said he's been his therapist for 7 years. Nothing seems to be working. So Mr. Burns, Smithers suggests, since he likes the virtual reality headset so much, he do a virtual family. So he's like, okay, who can we get to play this virtual family? So then they go in and they hold like a fucking auditions, a whole bunch of auditions to set up to find like a family. And of course, none other than the Simpsons are what you call it. But like, this is him like enjoying the fucking headset with the arms. It looks just like it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could set it up. You know, it also looks like Ready Player One. It does looks just like that too. But Homer doesn't get chosen to be in the family, which was fucking hilarious. Homer does not get chosen to be in the family. And so they all have to wear these like green screen things, kind of like CGI, but they're all virtual. So when he's in headset, he could see them because they're creating whatever he wants in a way, which is fucking trippy because I feel like that's exactly what happens in our real life reality. This is why I say this is a man-made reality. You guys see what I mean? Because they are literally creating a reality for him. Because he wants this family life, they're doing everything family wise, so they're creating memories. They're creating memories for him as if he was the father. So that's why Homer could not be there, because Marge plays his wife and then those are his family. And so he makes them look however he wants them to look, because this is his virtual reality. This is his man-made dimension that he can go to escape this dimension, the dimension that he's in, where he does not have a family. You see how fucking trippy that is? And it's exactly what the VR experience is going to do for a lot of people. It's going to create an ultra reality that's better than the actual reality. But as I said in the very beginning, the consequences of doing that when you're in this reality it's a mind fuck, because how are you going to operate? We'll get there anyway. So they're creating like fake memories for him and stuff like that, playing like, tennis and stuff like that. And then he's seeing Marge naked and stuff like that, but he's not attracted to Marge. He's attracted to the dead, as what I realized, because this is what turns him on. Seeing bones. I said, yeah. So then after that, he's so happy with how everything's going and everything. He's like, I can see this going on for 10 years. So he just wants them to work as his virtual family for like 10 years. And so Marge tells Homer, like, we're not coming home, this and that, like it's going to be a while. So at first Homer's very sad. He's very upset. And then after a while, he's like, but this is them working, because after a while, they're creating songs and everything and jokes and stuff like that for his virtual show. And then this is the part where Homer's like, oh, well, you know what? I don't feel I'm enjoying this freedom, because Homer is so used to, someone nagging him, someone having someone to come home to. Now he's enjoying the freedom of doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. And then he meets this neighbor on the fucking moon while all this is going on, and they're working at what you call it, Homer meets this neighbor on the moon. And I swear she looked like fucking Martha Stewart, but she wasn't Martha Stewart, but she sounded like Martha Stewart and she looked like Martha Stewart, so I thought it was Martha Stewart, and it was just weird. Very fucking weird. But she's like a female Homer, which is so interesting. This also makes me feel like an alternate reality. What would life be without Marge and the family? Because they are now placed in Mr. Burns' reality and creating him a fake reality. This is Homer's present reality where his family is not here with him. So now it's like building a whole new reality of something else. You know what I mean? So it's like two realities kind of merging because of the reality that Mr. Burns is creating with his family, and his reality with his family now is displaced. Do you guys get what I mean when I say that? Okay, I hope so. Anyway, so yeah, so she's like a female Homer, and he's so excited. He's like, oh, but he also feels weird about it. You could tell. Like I said, she looked like damn Martha Stewart to me. And then what I found trippy, because I felt like she was Martha Stewart, she looked like Martha Stewart, she sounded like Martha Stewart. I said, this gotta be Martha Stewart, but I looked it up, it's not Martha Stewart. But still, what was so trippy is last night I had went out to dinner to the Polar Bar, me and my man, and we double dated with these other people. And I don't know if you guys could see, but we met Martha Stewart, and like, I'm not lying. They both said it too. We sat like right behind her. And it was just so trippy how I wrote down in my notes when I was taking this, and I was looking at like who I said she looks like Martha Stewart. I said she feels like Martha Stewart. This Martha Stewart girl. That's how I called her in my notes when I was writing notes for this, recording and stuff like that. So the fact that I was like saying Martha Stewart and talking about Martha Stewart and feeling like I saw Martha Stewart, and then actually see her last night, trippy as fuck. I thought the Matrix was matrixing and it was hurting my head. It was too much. It was too much. But this is also very prominent, like very hard to get into restaurant. It's a Polar Bar, like Ralph Lauren, the Polar Bar. Like it's really fucking like legendary. Really hard to get into. My boyfriend, I don't even know how he got the reservation. Don't ask me. But it was a blast. The food was amazing. But that's not what this is about. It was just about the kind of overlapping of universe. Do you guys get what I mean? I'm talking about fucking Martha Stewart in a fucking video online. To try and make this video, which is a virtual video, and then I see her in my reality. Fucking trippy. Do you guys get what I mean? But the matrixing, and these other realities and these man-made realities, because the internet is a man-made reality too. This is what I mean. These are realities within realities. It's fucking. Anyway, so while all this is happening between Homer and the Martha Stewart girl, or her name is Julia in this, but I call her Martha Stewart because she looks like Martha Stewart. But anyway, her name is Julia. Marge has this psychic fucking like ability. She's like, oh my god, something's wrong with Homer. Something's wrong. And she just like, she's fucking witch. But in the very beginning of this episode, you see Marge and her sisters, and they're all on witch brooms. And I was like, I always knew, but damn, it just gave you that other clue that Marge is psychic. She can see, I was like, damn, that was really, really cool. I was like, how cute. They were all on witch brooms. If you go back and you rewatch the episode, you will see in the very beginning, they're all on witch brooms. And then the episode starts. And then, like I said, she has this like psychic moment. She's like, something's wrong with Homer. So by this time though, Lisa and them, they're tired. They're tired. They're all tired of Mr. Burns. They're tired of his ass. They're tired of his bullshit. And so Mr. Burns doesn't feel like they're cooperating. So he decides to go and see what his life would be like if they he decides to go and see what his life would be like as he gets older, even though he's already fucking old. Meaning they get old. Or he just aged them, I guess. And in his virtual reality, he aged them to see how they would be. And he didn't like it. So he decided that he would fire them. So he fires them. And then Marge goes home, and Marge is like, Marge is like, I know that you're messing with this girl, da 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 da. Like, she just has a feeling. She just has her feminine intuition. And I don't think anybody realized that. Like, Marge always has a feminine intuition in almost all the episodes of the Simpsons, I realized, especially when something's going on with Homer, she always knows when something's going on with Homer. She's very connected to Homer. It's so cute. And I realized that the more I watched The Simpsons, I was like, wow, she's really, really, really connected to him. But then you realize that the Julie girl, she don't like him. She don't want him like that. She got a fiance of her own, and that's how that ends. So that everything's fine. And then Mr. Burns, it switched to Mr. Burns, and he wants to have like a virtual death and see what his death is like. This shit had me cracking the fuck up. First of all, I was dying because this is what you first thing that you see when he has his virtual death. And this is very interesting. This is why I say this is what he wanted to see. This is his dimension. This is his man-made dimension. He can decide what he wants to see. Smithers has programmed this thing so that way he could decide what his virtual reality is and what he wants to see, right? So this is his death. I was fucking screaming.
Welcome, Muddy. I'd like to take a selfie with you.
He goes out.
All right, but just one. Oh, that's not plugged in.
Now that was trippy to me because it's not plugged in. Remember how I said that? Remember how I said that the brain sometimes can't even realize where you are at if you stay in that for so long, like, and you mess up your direct peripheral vision. I feel like you're going to create another reality in your head anyway, because you can create other realities, which is why they have MK Ultra, and because you can create other personalities, you can create other ultras and other not alters, yes, other alters of you, of your personality and of yourself. So what they do is, what happens, I feel like when you're on this, it enables you to do that. So is Mr. Burns seeing that, or is it something that's internally into his head now that he's been hooked up to this and being on this daily? You know what I mean? Like, I felt like that was really trippy. And so then, like, was he hallucinating? Was he seeing things clearly? And then I want to play this last scene, and then I also want to talk to you guys about something else. But let's play the last scene, because after that, which was very interesting, because after that, and he had his death, he fired the family. A few years later, you see everybody with them. But people are running into things. Look at this. Running into fucking holes. And this is the same thing that happens with the Apple Vision Pro, when you are unaware of where you really are because you're not able to see your peripheral views. So you see how they're running into walls and everything. When you have a peripheral, when you have your peripheral view is working, and as it should, you're gonna have a reflex of things. So you're not gonna run to a pole. You're not gonna run into this. You know what I mean? You're going to be kind of aware. It's kind of like a natural reflex to go around things and to see where you're going and stuff like that. But if you have something that's projecting a man-made reality onto you, you're not going to be able to pick up those things that you would normally pick up out of your peripheral view. That's kind of prevents you from danger. Look at this. If I'm crazy, it prevents you from danger. But what this does, it enables it in a way. All to have this fake reality of things. He's gay. Okay. Yeah. You don't have to really kiss. You can just be laying there, you know? And so that's what was really interesting and crazy to me. But I also want to talk to you guys about what I consider this kind to be a MK Ultra in a way, because what they're doing in a way is hijacking your consciousness to want to be into this man-made reality, because that's why they kind of, I feel like, do this so much to this current reality, this 3D reality that we're in, that me and you, and I'm talking to you. Well, I guess this is not, because technically me over, it doesn't matter. But you guys get what I'm saying. You guys get what I'm saying is this current reality, they do so much for you to be ungrateful, so you guys don't like it here. they can use your consciousness and use your mind to place you into a different place. So that way your body and your mind could be somewhere else and your body could be here, this, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I always tell you to ground and to be one with yourself and this 3D realm and this meat suit that you're in, because what can happen is you can get stuck in another reality and not be able to get back. And I feel like that's what happens to a lot of people that have a lot of mental illness, mental disorders and stuff like that. Some people that go through psychosis, this is exactly what happens. And I feel like this is a gateway to that on another extreme level, because it's a man-made reality dimension, a man-made dimension that you are subjugating your mind to, as opposed to the normal one that you obtain when you go to sleep, if that makes sense. Because you obtain another dimension when you sleep. You do. That's, to me, the fifth dimension, or the sleep realm, or whatever you want to call it, the dream realm, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but this 3D realm is the way it is for a reason. Our peripheral view allows us to see slightly out of this 3D realm and into the 5D, in my opinion. We talked about that. But that's not always guaranteed for some people. Some people don't believe in that. Like I said, do your own research. But I do want to play you guys this video that I thought was very interesting and kind of cultivated my entire point of making this video, and why I wanted to make this video and talk about this Simpsons to begin with. So this is a video from Roger Martin, and he has a YouTube channel called I'm not sure. Hold on.
That's given us the ability to do this. But
what he says,
I got some good news for you. If they succeed, you may be able to, in the future, live in that virtual world. Mm-hmm. Okay? We've seen the movie Surrogates and all of that. You may be able to sit in that chair at home and no longer be in that world. And your mind, which is the most powerful thing, like I said, it doesn't know whether you sleep, dreaming, or whatever. Your mind could now be so manipulated.
It doesn't know. You see what he said? Your mind does not know. It doesn't know. It can't know, which is fucked up. But if you know what I'm saying? Oh, the show was called High Strangeness. This is called High Strangeness, and you guys can go subscribe to him. I just want to give him a shout out to you, because this was very interesting. And he was talking actually about MK Ultra project, the MK Ultra project. And so this tying into, because he talks about the VR, you guys are going to get to it. I'm going to let it play. But it just connected to this video so well that that's why I wanted to talk about it as well. Because, yeah, his channel is called High Strangeness. He talks about MK Ultra specifically in this and how it can be linked to that. So let's listen.
That you are thinking that you're living in a place that you're not living. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, that is as crazy as it get, but people, it is happening. And is it a threat? Is it a threat? Me and my big brother talks about it. He'll make these pictures and all this, and a voluptuous woman, and they're like, man, I'm like, dude, I'm not playing with that. I ain't got time for that. I'm not for the, because pretty soon that damn woman is going to be able to talk. Yeah. The AI is talking. Imagine pretty soon they put a voice part on this chat GPT, and she has a voice to what you want, and this thing begins to talk to you. And I know how some of you might feel about sex, so you don't even have to have no sex. I know. But if you got somebody talking to you, hey, good morning, baby. Oh, you the fairest on the wall. Wow. Yeah. Oh, you're so smart. What can I help you with? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And you start talking, well, you're going to give it a name. Let me get out of that shit. The other part I'm saying, though, we're talking about neuroscience and mind control from the Montauk Projects. And then we're talking about projects alleged mind control experience that could have laid the foundation to modern neurosciences today, understanding of the brain, and potentially leading to both medical breakthroughs as well as ethical things and unethical stuff. So if we think about if we're in a world where our innermost thoughts, so check this out. I got this written here for you. This is how deep this is going to be.
This is good.
Let's go with this right now. And okay, I want you to open your mind. I want everybody's minds to hear what I'm going to describe to you. So imagine we was in a world where your innermost thoughts are no longer your own, where reality could be twisted and turned with the click of a button. Now, this is the legendary Montauk Project, which was a legacy that may have been coded in the very fabric of today's technological wonders today. I mean, we're living in a quantum age where computers can solve problems in seconds that would have traditionally other computers have done. And if you got to ask yourself, where did the quantum leap come from? It's these shadow projects that they're doing out there. Now, let's talk about virtual reality. Like I said, not just games and stuff, but we're talking worlds within worlds, where realms where the lines between real and artificial blurs the oblivion. So, once again, metaverse was designed to combine both worlds. It was combined to take the reality of where we are today and then put you into what they call the metaverse. So physically, you're not there, but mentally, you are there. That's some dangerous stuff. Because at some point, what if your mind can't come up out of that? Right? What if you are so into the virtual reality because you done sat down in this chair, you done put on this vest, and you're living this thing, and you don't even want to come out. You don't want to come back over here to a relationship that's arguing all the time when you're over here, the damn thing don't say a word.
Exactly my point. So, if you don't want to come back to this reality, that's when it becomes very dangerous. So you guys heard exactly what he said. It mixes and merges the two. It does. It does. It really does. So where Apple Provision tries to dumb it down and say, oh, it's just like having an iPad up to your face. No, because you can go to the fucking moon. I can't go to the moon on my phone. I can't actually feel like I'm on the moon on my phone. No, it's a different experience, a completely different experience. But of course, they're going to try and dumb it down for you to take that plunge and to actually do this. For all this to happen, for you not to be unaware of what you're actually doing to yourself, your brain, your peripheral view, your ability to be within the fifth dimension, everything, and how dangerous that shit gets, and where it stems from, which is the birth of MK Ultra and Project Blue, not Project Blue Beam, but Project what is it? Project Montauk. And that's exactly what that guy was talking about. He was talking about Project Montauk and how it can be linked to the metaverse and these VR, Oculus kind of like things that create a man-made dimension and takes you to a different place within your mind to the point where you don't want to be in this dimension anymore. But this is only the beginning. That's why I said this episode was a lot deeper than a lot of people thought. And then when I first watched the episode, I was like, okay, they're just showing you the prediction of the VR. But no, they're also showing you what happens with the VRs, what could possibly happen with the use of these VRs, and the connection to mind control, because everybody went out and got it too. We're all fucking sheep. And look at how everybody in the Simpsons, how it all played out. Everybody went out and got it and was walking around. Remember when I said that it eliminates the reflex, kind of the view of what's in the corner of your eye, of danger, and that kind of mindset and the kind of feeling of the unknown, the peripheral eyesight of your view, which you could see. You know what I mean? It's also that, and I feel like a sense of mind control too, because you're creating whatever reality you want, or they're creating whatever reality you want, just like they're already doing to us now. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we are out. Love you guys.
I tell you, they're on a loop. They go around the block. They come back. They go around again. They just go around and around.
From now on, your job is to be a distraction, so people forget what the real problems are. So what do we do?
You let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink. All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua. No artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Your Earth is a very small part of a very large industry.